Hello Aquarius, welcome to the Black Hearted Oracle. Now before we get started, I'd like to pay homage and reverence to Mother Sustainer, Father Creator, and of course my beautiful ancestors. Now Aquarius, I just want to say how grateful I am because you are my last rod and staff reading and this is the last reading. So I'm very happy that we've come to the end of this. Okay, so this one is finances and this is part 4 of 4 of your rod and staff reading. So let's get into it. The first one is 9 of Fire and it says don't give up, protect that which you have created, have courage, and believe in yourself. The next messages are respect, and it's I can manifest love and respect when I love and respect myself. The next one is patience. And it says, I am patient and persistent and disciplined in pursuing my goals. The next message is Tsunami, wake-up call. And it says, you are getting a wake-up call. It may be in the form of a significant loss or other dramatic event in your life. Typically, one that you were not prepared for initially. You may feel stunned at first, surprised by the unexpected events that are occurring. Yet you also know that it is time to draw back the curtain of avoidance and denial and confront the truth that exists in the subtext of this event. You are experiencing a real life drama. So there is no need for amplify it more than it already is. Often when you look back after something like this has passed, you can recall signs that foreshadow it's happening. There may have been obvious cues that you've ignored or omens that were so subtle they were easy to dismiss as imaginings of the mind rather than the voice of your instincts. To negotiate this wake-up call, listen closely to your instincts while at the same time seeking the higher ground of spiritual truth. Your next one is balance. And balance says, this card may indicate a reluctance to change. You may be hesitating because of the past, but that does not mean that you should be hasty. Weigh all sides before moving forward. This can mean the start of a relationship. Proceed slowly. It says, I must create before the opportunity disappears. Running towards something may chase it away. Be wary of being deceived by your own desire. I take me with me wherever I go. Is there a part of my life that may be out of alignment with who I am? Chasing illusions, health matters, compulsive behavior, dietary imbalance, being result-oriented, self-neglect, honoring values, assistance, courtesy, and support. The next messages come from the Animal Wisdom deck, and the first one is Coyote, number 13, and that's the inner child awakened, Murphy's Law. Very adaptable, wisdom in folly, and close-knit family. And the next one is 49, Salmon, and philosophical thinking, a workaholic, very productive, domestic delight, a magnificent life, return to your roots, gift of prophecy, the ebb and flow, studying, knowingness, self-direction, single-mindedness, persistent and determined. The next message is 15, and that is Mildew Fairy, cleanup time. It says, some things just look like they're yuck, but they're not. They're very good things. They could be powerful and helpful when used in the right way. It is time to check out what could be profoundly useful for you, which you have dismissed. This could be an aspect of yourself or an aspect of the environment you're in. The health of the situation rests upon the degree of openness you approach it with. It always shocks me when people think something shouldn't be there. I love to show you what you may need to take care of. All the time I'm showing you what is going on, what you need to change. Don't use harsh vibes, as you will kill all that is healthful and good. You see, I turn up when something is unhealthy, and you just aren't noticing it or getting it. Think of ways to decrease stagnant, stuck emotions. Increase fresh thinking in your home and environment. When Mildew Fairy comes to pay you a visit, it's likely things are a little stagnant, a little over-emotional, and that fresh new air and thoughts need to be brought in to clear up the situation. A fresh way of thinking or a fresh point of view or release of emotions. Her appearance never means covering up. It means working with the environment you find yourself within. The presence of unhealthy energies needs to be addressed. No rationalizing and excuses, and never ignored. The last message from the Black-Hearted Oracle, and it's cut your grass, see the snakes. It says, walking in the garden, admiring the birds and the bees, the beautiful butterflies on those magnificent trees. All these magnificent flowers, but this grass, wow, it's high. That's way above the knees. Don't you ever wonder what's happening just beneath? What might be slithering between your feet? The stones, the boulders, the pits, dug so discreetly, hidden from the eyes with grass swaying in the wind. So think not any longer. It's time to expose the snakes that hide waiting to strike. The life you are heading into is full of joy and abundance and the favor of all of creation. But while you enjoy all these goodnesses, please keep in mind to keep your grass cut low. Give your snakes nowhere to go, no place to hide. Let them slither upon their belly with their wounded ego and swallowed pride. So Aquarius, it seems like you're going to be coming to a point where you're going to have to pick up your respect and have a little patience while you stand your ground and find back your balance. Because maybe you, as your last reading said, you've become a little complacent. So now it's a time for a wake-up call, you know, because over here there's a lot of stagnant energy. There's people in your life that are not dealing with you fairly, and you're refusing to see that. So you're going to get a wake-up call. You know, because Murphy's Law is to learn the folly. I mean, well, not Murphy's Law, but the medicine of the coyote is to learn the folly, get the wisdom out of the folly of another's ways. And Murphy's Law is whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So you're going to have to be really on your feet right now to maintain your balance. But you know, you have to be this 9 of fire, and that's stand your guard. You know, you have to protect what you've created. And just remove the stagnant energy. Okay, for your finances, this says pay yourself first. It says make yourself the most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you are paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you will have savings to invest in your present and your future. This says new home. It says moving is a step in the right direction for you. And you have a star, the 5 of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords also deals, I mean, even though they call it the spying card, what it also deals with, though, is research. So if you're in the need to get a new home, and it's causing you to be crying over spilt milk because of this household situation, what it's saying is that there's healing for you, but the only way that you're going to be able to get to this financial healing is if you make yourself the most important financial priority that you have. So every time you get paid, you have to find the balance, you know, and do some research if you're needing to move to a new location, so that you won't be crying over spilled milk. Okay. It says no more complaining. It says complaints are affirmations of victimhood, which is never true spirituality. Take back your God-given power by affirming that you have an abundance of choices and freedom. With your increased confidence and assertiveness, watch these positive affirmations blossom into reality. And you received a birthday. And with that, it was the Seven of Cups. And it says, a significant birthday holds answers to your questions. And you also received practice, practice, practice. And it says, with daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. And we received the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. So exactly what this is saying is, like, if you're a person who's prone to complaining, practice not to do that. And if you can manage to do that and hold that truth for at least until your birthday, you're going to be able to move to calmer waters. You're going to leave this feeling left out in the cold energies and this confusion energies alone. You know, because come your birthday, it seems like you're going to be opened up to a wealth of opportunity. But if you're complaining, you're not going to see this as opportunity. You're going to see it as the cups, where not all of them are good. Like, not all of these cups have something wonderful in it. And you're going to be stuck without being able to choose. But if you can practice not to complain, and that you could see things as you abundantly can create whatever you want through your own manifestation abilities, then you won't be feeling this left out in the cold. And what will happen is that your life will move to calmer waters because you know that you're in full control of it. And, you know, if you can make this a goal to do this by your birthday, you can actually see results with practice. Oh, no. Then we also receive blocks, obstacles and blocks are lifted. It says all your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles, and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and move forward with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude and ensure that your flow of abundance continues. And it says healing, healed, healer. It says healing energy surrounds you and this situation. And you have the Eight of Cups. And that's exactly, it's saying if you can manage to get your mind and heart into one accord, you know, and if you're having struggles with this, to practice, and you move away from the complaining and the feeling left out in the cold, what's going to happen is that you can move into victory. Especially if you are in the healing arts. Like, because sometimes, like, we go through things, and when we come to terms with being able to heal ourselves, then we actually can make a career out of these things. Because we can pass on the knowledge that we've gained to others who are in the same position. And this will end up leading you to your victory, because once you can get over this no more complaining, you'll lift the obstacles and blockages that you've had in your life and move forward in victory by walking away from these negative things. If you, words of abundance. I'm sorry, let me just make sure this is still recording, please. Okay, yeah. This is words of abundance. It says, you have the ability to instantly manifest abundance by choosing powerfully positive words. Always describe your own and the world's economic situation in loving and opportunistic terms. And that is what you attract for yourself and others. And this is connect with nature. It says you're rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. And it's telling you right now that if you're overburdened, right, and you're feeling like you're in a stagnant space, and it's time to get a wake-up call, then what you need to do is reconnect in nature. Because while we're going through storms like this tsunami, you know, like this wake-up call that's coming, this tower moment that you're going to have because you're overburdened. But all you have to do is go take a walk in nature, because that there you can get regrounded and find your healing and your balance. And if your mind is overburdened with all these options, you're going to find your healing when you reconnect with nature. No matter how trying our time is in life, whatever lessons we come to, it's going to be a time that we connect with nature and we get back to our Zen. It says, take divinely guided change. All positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk, and you are ready to follow your divine guidance to new territories. As you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar but no longer appropriate for you, you make room for new and more meaningful opportunities. It says emotional healing. It says, as your heart heals of old emotional pain and you receive new blessings and love. Exactly, the World card and the Queen of Cups. So it seems like what it's saying is that if you are still carrying around emotional baggage, it's going to be hard for you to manifest, because you cannot carry this wounded person and manifest the great things. So first you're going to have to make sure that your self-love cup is running over for you, because there's a new cycle here full of self-love, full of respect, full of honor, you know. It's full of respect. What's going to have to happen is that you're going to have the patience and to do the healing, because many times in this reading your cards are speaking of healing that you need, you know, and for you to have the patience to continue to go through this. But there's a new cycle here willing to start, but what you're going to have to do is the self-love is definitely needed, because you cannot get good out of a place of lowness. You have to raise your vibrations. We have clean energy food, and it says, when you fuel your body with healthier organic diet, you increase your energy levels and ability to focus. This automatically leads to more efficiency, better ideas, and a higher vibration, which attracts golden opportunities and beneficial relationships. And it says springtime. And it says your desires fully manifest as the flowers begin to bloom. And we receive the Devil, the Ten of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles. We also receive Be Yourself, and it says the situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis of your personal power. And we receive the Two of Pentacles. On this side of the Two of Pentacles, we got the Sun, and on this side we had the Nine of Swords, and to clarify further, we had the Temperance. So, as you can see, whatever it is that you are going through, if this is a health circumstance, it's something that you're going to have to make so much practice into changing your eating habits or your stress levels that you might be going through right now, because this speaks of a lot of stress to me, you know, and it's something that you've been working on over and over again, but maybe you're not attacking the problem from where it needs to be. So you're spending a lot of money on this problem when actually it's starting with what you're eating. And maybe if you can work on this right now, by springtime you'll start seeing real results. Like how he has these 7 pentacles posted up on his tree. I mean, well, what, 6? Yeah, 6 pentacles posted on the tree, and 1 that he's worked on and hasn't hanged yet. So that's the results that you'll be seeing. But you got to be honest and truthful with yourself. Like, are you going to continue juggling between wanting the good, happy life, wanting the sun, Or this Nine of Swords energy, which is, you know, up at night, the nightmares, the overly burdened, the stress, you know, because the Nine of Swords, it's right here again with the Ten of Swords, but the last thing that took her or him out of his bed was the Sword of Truth. So you have to be honest with yourself, because you're going to have to find balance. You can't waffle back and forth between these two energies. You know, you have to stay mostly in these energies and let these go. And you're going to have to practice this. You're going to have to practice to come out of this pessimistic mind frame that you're in. You know, awaken the inner child. And practice words of abundance to overtake these dark energies that you're into, and do the emotional healing that's necessary. Because we all need to have our Queen of Cups full. Like, her cups has to be for her. You have to do the healing. If there's many times in this reading where, even though this is about finances, it is telling you that your emotional healing is at the core root of whatever financial problems that you're having. You know, because you can figure out how to make money, but to make it stay is another thing. And if you're coming from a lower vibrational energy, it is very hard to keep abundance in your life. Okay, Aquarius, I thank you so much for coming to the Black-Hearted Oracle. And I pray this message found you well. I pray that you find your higher self in the quiet places, and may Ma'at hold you in her love and grace. Ashe.